computer.
I know Ken probably don't too far, but
You're all set?
I think we've had 4 years now.
Okay, I'll call the meeting to order at 9:01. Organizational meeting. We'll start with the pledge of allegiance, followed by a moment of silence for military veterans and first responders. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and justice.
Okay, we'll do roll call. Majeski. Here. Pittsburgh.
Here.
Bacon.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Bristol.
Here.
Asplund.
Present.
Pascal.
Here.
We have a quorum. And I think the next thing on the agenda is approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion, we approve the agenda with the additions as presented.
I second that.
Majeski.
Yes.
Bristol.
Yes.
Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Bacon.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Asplund.
Yes.
Pascal.
Yes.
Motion carried. And we're going to have the election of the chairman of the board. Sorry, I should have took that off. The chairperson shall serve for a 2-year term unless the county board of commissioners provided by resolution that the chairperson shall be elected annually for a 1-year term. So if you don't do the resolution, it's 2 years. If you decide you want 1-year term, then someone needs to make that motion for resolution now.
If you
Make the
want, you
recommendation.
want a 1-year term instead of 2,
Correct.
that needs to be made now.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll make a recommendation of Jeff Haskell as a,
Well, we're doing.
Wait, we're doing the 1 year
Is it
first.
1 year or 2 year first? Is that?
2-year.
Does anybody want 1 year? No? Okay. Now, you'll
Oh.
notice,
I'll second it.
okay, it doesn't have to be a motion unless you're doing a 1 year.
Okay.
Okay. You'll notice in front of you, there's a ballot on your desk for election of the chairperson. You use it as a secret ballot instead of a roll call vote. This is the only time the Board of Commissioners can vote by secret ballot. You may elect to vote by secret ballot at any time after the nominations are taken and before the roll call vote, just by stating so. Are there any nominations for a chairperson?
Jeff Haskell.
Yeah,
I'll second that.
so it's unanimous, I think.
Yeah, and I call for a roll call.
Sandy, did you second that?
Yes, I did.
There you go, Jeff.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Majeski.
Yes.
Bristol.
Yes.
Pascal.
Yeah.
Try that again with a little.
Yeah, come on, Jeff. Come on.
Asplund.
Yes.
Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Bacon.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Congratulations, Mr. Chairperson.
Yes.
You can take over from here.
Let's switch, Jeff.
Thank you, everybody. Okay, I need a motion for nomination for vice chair.
I'll nominate you. I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call, Lori?
Did you want to ask for if there are any other nominations?
Oh, yeah, I can ask that.
Sorry, I jumped the gun. Don't you have to ask that 3 times?
Yes, you're supposed to.
Okay, let's hear it.
Is there any other nominations? Is there any other nominations? Is there any other nominations?
Okay.
Now I can second it.
Yes.
Sandy Bristol seconds that. Okay.
Give me one moment, please. Pittsford,
Yes.
Bristol,
Yes.
Bankin,
Yes.
Jeske,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Asplund,
Yes.
Haskell.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Okay, meeting dates. Do we
I-
have that anywhere?
I did not print them out. We did have them, I have them prepared for the third Wednesday, beginning at 9 o'clock, because that's what our schedule is currently. If that changes, I can go in and make those changes to the list and signed off on.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Accept those.
No, discussion.
Do we need to make a different motion to change the date?
We have to have discussion on this motion first, and then we can make a.
I wasn't making a motion. I was just telling you all that okay, that's what I have prepared right now. So, and that's not a problem to change that. But Dale made that motion, so.
You did.
And then it was seconded, right?
Yeah.
But, okay, so now we have the discussion. Correct, Amundo? Okay.
Okay. Steph, do you want to say anything?
I would like to change the meeting time. I think the meeting time would be better offered in the meeting at like 6 PM to better accommodate our constituents and the county residents.
Could it be 5 instead of 6?
That's fine.
It's okay.
Mhm.
I like the idea that our constituents could participate. I like that very much.
We've done it in the past and we haven't had any change and constituencies show up as well as courthouse employees, because it was one of the reasons why we really wanted to do it before was to bring in more courthouse employees, and it stayed the same for the time we had. We didn't increase with public, we didn't increase with employees. I know quite a few of us have meetings at night too as well. I know I do, and it would be difficult for me if I changed the meetings, because it would interfere with other scheduled meetings I have.
Is there anyone here that would have difficulty with the 9 AM meeting?
Yep.
Stephanie? Okay. And Rick?
My time's flexible, but afternoons are better for me, but I still attend the 9 AM meetings.
I don't think it's overly fair to, if, let's say you're out of town or on vacation, to require one of your employees to stay over and pay them overtime to take the minutes for the meeting. And just like now Melissa's here, I don't think that's fair that she should have to take time out of her life. I mean, all of our seats were elected. We knew what time the meetings were when we came in. Those guys signed up for a job, and I don't think it's fair. We should, they put in enough time. Melissa goes, I'm sure she goes to meetings outside, and that's her own time. I don't think we should start requiring that for people. And plus, I think it puts us at a disadvantage, because we've been here before and we have questions on something, and Tracy will call somebody down and then they'll clear up an issue. Where if we do that at night, we won't have that option.
That would be my biggest thing to keep it the same, is it's nice to have county employees to answer questions that we may have here in the building. And and sometimes it's not on the agenda, so I feel that in itself is a good point to have them here at this time.
The only way I would vote for later in the day meeting time would be as if we went to 2 meetings and we had one in the morning and then one in, later on. But that's never been an idea that was.
And we have discussed about having 2 meetings, correct? I mean, because of the budget.
So it's probably not going to be
That's what you're doing right now, is approving the meeting dates.
Right. But if we have, so you're saying if we want a second meeting, we need to bring that up now?
No, not necessarily. If you want to do workshops or anything out of the regular Board of Commissioners meeting schedule, we can schedule those separately.
Okay.
Ready for roll call?
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Majeski,
Yes.
Pittsburgh,
Yes.
Bankin,
Yes.
Asplund,
Yes.
Bristol,
Yes,
Brown.
Is this a yes to keep it at 9 AM?
It is.
No.
Haskell,
Yes.
motion carried.
Has everybody had a chance to review the board rules? If so, can we have a motion to adopt them?
I'll make that motion.
A second.
Any discussion?
I see they left that clause in there about using foul language, so.
You want to get rid of
Yeah,
that?
I'll try harder this time.
Are you guilty of that?
Oh, yeah.
Really? Oh, my.
Heck, yeah.
Hold on just a second before you do that. One thing I wanted to point out, the mileage reimbursement is in there. And there is no funds for the mileage in the Board of Commissioners budget. And I mean, that can be left in there, but right now you don't have any funds in there for mileage per se. You do for per diem, but not for mileage.
I think we should leave it the same right now, no mileage.
We need to take that out of there then?
No, I think that still can stay in. It just, we won't fund it.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
All right. I'm fine with that. Okay.
Roll call.
Pittsburgh,
Yes.
Majeski,
Yes.
Bristol,
Yes,
Bankin,
Yes.
Asplund,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Haskell,
Yes.
motion carried.
Committee appointments. Okay. Where are we like? Number 5.
Yeah, Northern Mac, they are a group of county commissioners that meet, and right now they're doing it via Zoom. And that is overseen by a gentleman with MSU Extension. And so he oversees that. Karen Leposki was on that for many years. And they selected me as an alternate so that if she wasn't able to attend, then I did, but we currently don't have anybody to take on those meetings right now.
Any volunteers?
I think you should volunteer.
which one?
Northern Mac.
No way,
5.
no, because I have livestock. And I'd have to get up the day before to get ready to drive up there.
Because it's in Grayling,
Yeah, and I
right?
don't think I'm a good fit for that. I've been to that meeting before and I wanted to get up and yell a lot. And that's probably not where, the person they want to show up. Karen used to do that one and she fit in very well.
I don't have time for that either. I've got one meeting a month in West Branch and that's tough to schedule.
Mhm.
Rick, can you do it?
Yeah, I'll volunteer for this one.
Oh, great.
You get mileage.
Nothing in the budget.
Now we.
You don't get mileage, never mind. Yeah.
He gets per diem.
Northern Oaks. We need an alternate.
When do they meet?
They have not met for quite some time. And it's far and few between, and they handle those meetings, so.
I'll do it.
Samantha?
Just-
Agricultural Preservation Board.
Even meet?
I Jack was on that and I don't ever remember him talking about the meeting.
What exactly did they do?
I honestly, I don't know.
Okay. Dale, do you think I would be a fit?
I think you would.
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody object to have me representing the?
Airport Advisory Board.
My township supervisor is on that board, so I probably shouldn't be on it because I give him enough trouble at the township board meetings, so.
I can volunteer for that.
Okay,
Thank you.
steps on that. MSHN Mid-State Health Network.
This is the, Leonard was on this one before. This was initially Northern Michigan substance abuse, which was up in Gaylord, Grayling. They changed it to the MSHN. So they monitor all substance abuse funds and those types of things for the counties.
It's every other month.
Which
Yes.
is the third Wednesday of every other month. Isn't that when we're having our board meetings?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a problem.
Mhm.
Okay. So,
Could they change their meeting?
Let me check with them.
Okay.
If they can change their meetings, I think this is a huge issue in our county and it needs.
Oh, I agree. I agree with
Yeah.
Steph. But see if they can change their meeting date.
Yeah, let me check with them.
Michigan Works alternate. Last Friday of the month.
You'd be good on that. Yeah.
you need to stop saying those things. Just let me take care of my own business. I ended up going to 19 meetings a month last time. So I'll be your alternate.
You can, I don't miss them. And normally if you do miss them, you're not needed to go. I don't really know why that's on there, but we'll put Sandy on there.
Okay.
There you go.
Are they early in the morning?
10:30.
Oh, I can do that.
Road Commission.
Oh, yeah, you need to make a decision on the transit. You had two that are
I did
Sandy or Rick.
volunteer for that. I like Tom mostly, but if anybody else, if Rick, you have a burning desire to be on it. But I enjoyed working with the transit.
It is 16.
Which one is, you said 16?
16.
Okay.
That's a page?
Have to fight it out.
Hey, you're not a ninja, are you?
I'm a green belt in Tung Soo Do, but it's been a long time. I probably kill myself lifting my leg up.
I was talking to Carl, who is on that board, both of them or one?
One of them, Sandy or Rick.
Rick.
They have,
They have to
a
fight it.
decision has to be made on one. They haven't decided yet.
The reason I volunteered for this is my transportation experience, my logistics experience. I've been my whole life in it, so that's why I volunteered for it.
Good idea.
So
I think experience helps.
if you really, really want to do it, and you're going to do a good job, you're going to be especially polite to Mr. Pernstow.
I've known Tom for a long time, yes.
Okay. You're not being like it.
Guy, I'm a nice guy.
Okay.
Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Okay. So Sandy, did you back down from that?
Apparently. If he doesn't do a good job, Tom, let me know. Okay.
You're welcome to the meetings.
All right, I might do that because don't you have snacks?
That's a good idea.
I think you have snacks at your meetings, right?
I'm sorry?
You have snacks at your meeting?
No.
Dang.
I tried to do that with Zoom.
Oh, okay, that's true.
I ended up eating all of them.
All right, okay. 17.
Okay, you already got two,
Yep.
on
No, we're good. Good.
The next one's road commission.
there, which is not,
I guess that's me.
That's
The Ann.
Andy, Bristol, and
which number is that?
When are their meetings?
Number 2 on page.
Oh, okay.
Do we have to have 2 people on that? I don't remember.
Same time ours.
No, they changed.
They
it.
changed, did you change them?
Yeah.
did they change them?
Yeah, they did. I didn't find out when. Ken told me, but I don't remember.
They're the first and third Wednesday, no?
It was.
Yeah, they're at 8 in the morning.
And I thought we put 2 on there because David also wanted to be on it.
I thought David was the only one going to them.
David and Mark,
Mark was going to.
I think in the end.
On occasion, he was, yeah.
Yeah, when I was commissioner last time, there was just one commissioner that went, I went.
So I don't know why we would have to have a second one for that, but at the board's discretion.
And you don't think we need a second?
I think we just keep one.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay, I'm okay with that.
cross out the second one.
Farwell Local Development Finance Authority.
Who's in Farwell?
Samantha is, but she does not attend those meetings.
Okay,
How often does it meet? It says meets as needed.
Well, it was every quarter, but they can't ever get quorum because they can't ever keep anybody to.
Sounds like a good position to volunteer
Do we
for,
have this conversation?
probably.
Yes, we have.
Was that you volunteering?
No way.
No, she's not volunteering.
Oh, okay.
I'm already signed up for about half of these.
I know you are.
that, my
Mhm.
gosh.
That's why I wanted you to
Busy.
calm down about
Okay, all
volunteering.
right.
Okay, thanks.
Is this one of the mandated that we have to have somebody represent?
They have to have somebody on there because if they don't have a quorum and they have to have quorum in order to,
Well, they run that tight to where if one person's gone, they don't have a quorum.
yeah, I
They
do
can't
believe
get
there's only
anybody to
3.
Sit on it.
Can you do it, Dale?
Well, it depends on what the meeting times are. That's the thing.
I think it's at like 5 or 6, if they last 20 minutes. I don't know. There's.
On which day?
Oh, that's a good question.
As needed.
As needed. Throw me on there if it becomes a conflict.
Put Dale on.
An alternate for the Medical Control Board. That Dale.
It's one of those meetings that barely meets, but it should meet once a month. It basically oversees the health operations of the county, the hospital operations, the fire department, EMS.
When do they meet, Dale? During the day, at need, during the day?
During the day, yep. Do we need an alternate? Because I can make them when they have them.
I'll be your alternate just in case you can't.
Okay,
Yeah, I make them, so.
thank you.
Land Bank Authority.
There you go.
What?
That would be a Jenny question on when they meet and
Okay,
We meet, we were scheduled to meet, once a month. It goes to once a quarter, but sometimes if there's no business, it really gets, Jenny can say it really gets busy when you get close to the land auctions and stuff like that.
We just meet quarterly. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but
Mhm.
Yep.
we just meet quarterly, and then if something happens, obviously through COVID and changes to the foreclosure law, we have canceled.
Is that a day meeting?
Yes,
It is.
Just meets quarterly.
yep.
Well, Jeff,
Huh?
Jeff?
It's a great meeting, Jeff.
I'll volunteer. But I think someone else better. I've got two in a row. Building and maintenance. Who wants to be with Dale on that?
I need a second person just so, because I have some building and grounds things that are going on right now that we need to make some decisions on.
I'll volunteer for that.
Good.
Thank you.
I think we got all the boxes filled.
Yes.
Except for the health network and
And I'll check with them on that.
Okay.
I'd like to go back and, to number 2. I'd like to step away from that, the finance committee.
Number 2.
would anybody like to be on that?
Minutes.
No, Stephanie already refused. She said that's not her strong suit.
It doesn't have to do with grammar.
It, to be totally honest, it's not rocket science. We just look over the bills and approve the bills.
Are these
You want
It's
off, it's not
submitted.
rocket science. It's on there, yeah.
Are these held by, can they be held by Zoom?
No,
Steph? No?
think anybody's gonna take your spot.
We only have 2 on it then. Sandy will take it.
Yeah, but you know how I am. Do you want me to near the money?
Yeah. You're very frugal, right?
Extremely, because I've never had
Everything.
any.
That's exactly what you need. You question everything.
Okay. When does that meet?
Every other Monday.
At 9?
Yep.
Well, and I want you to know, first of all,
It says Tuesdays.
Yeah, it says Tuesday.
yes, I gotta change that
Oh, so it's Mondays?
because it went from Tuesday to Monday, and I don't remember why that was.
Yeah, maybe we could go.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we keep it Monday? Monday at 9, every other Monday at 9.
It's the off week of payroll, so
Okay.
And we really only have to have 2 there, but that's why we have 3, because it's pretty important. But at least if 2 are there,
You got
So
a
you-
quorum.
yeah, 2, you're all right.
Well, if I don't have,
Can't make it every once in a while, you'll be okay.
okay, because it's getting up in the dark and feeding the animals. That's just a killer.
You can always change the time too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You wanna make it Monday at 10? Does that work? for you?
that would help a lot. I'd at least have clean clothes on and
Make it Monday at 10. Wash the cow poop off.
it's chicken poop
Oh, all right.
and lots of it.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
Oof.
Yeah.
all right.
Okay. Need a motion to
Could I,
accept the committee appointments?
could I ask, I'd like to be on the IT committee. I'd also like to be included in the website committee. I have over 15 years of web design and
Which number is that?
that's number 10.
11?
On page 32.
IT committee, I did have Stephanie on there.
Yeah, you're on
But
the
the-
IT committee,
Yes, website committee though.
the one above it.
Correct. I'd like to be included in that as well.
We'll take me off of that and put Stephanie on it, if you want it.
Number 2.
Number 10 on page 32.
Oh, 10, okay, because I thought I heard 2.
Website committee?
Yes.
So, and the IT committee.
She's already on the IT committee, so take Dale off the website committee.
You're kind of skating on a lot of these, aren't you?
Part of the big
All
plan.
right.
Looks like it's going well for you. All right. Yeah, and Stephanie does have a ton of,
We have a finish list for this.
Yep.
Next meeting.
Yep. I will finish that up and I will email it out to you and I will also have it as a handout during the meeting.
this, I'll
We
finish.
got a motion to accept the committee appointments.
I will.
I don't believe
So
so.
moved.
I don't think we have before. Just appointed them.
Okay. Anybody got any questions on the Board of Commissioners minutes from December 16th? Motion,
I'll make the motion. We approve the Board of Commissioners minutes from November 16th. 2020.
roll call, Lori?
In B, Physical Resources and Economic Development Committee, in that would, it doesn't, page 36, it said, second line there in part A, Administrator Byard included in the agenda an email from the Mike's aerial spraying, and that's Al's, correct? I think probably this change, is that okay?
Mike?
Al's.
It should be Al's.
It's called Al.
It's Al's aerial spraying. Mike was the email, was his email address.
Okay. So I just, and then we're not gonna pick on typos, right? No. Sorry, I asked.
Ready?
Roll call.
Okay. Majeski,
Yes.
Asplund,
Yes.
Bankin,
Yes.
As amended, right? Pardon?
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Bristol,
Yes.
Pascal,
Yes.
carried.
General public comment. Well, we got anybody out there?
I don't see any hands raised.
Okay. Communications, anybody have any questions on that?
Oh, Michelle does. Michelle's,
Public comment?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, I just
Michelle?
wanted to welcome all of the new commissioners to their first meeting, except for Stephanie. She was there last month, but welcome you again. We look forward to working with all of you and congratulations, Jeff and Dale, on your positions as chair and vice chair.
thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Time's up. Any questions on the communications list? Administrators report.
okay, so, Ronwood had questioned at our last finance meeting about a capital asset policy. And I don't know if you were referring to a purchasing policy about thresholds and with regards to purchases. Or if you were actually referring to capital assets that are purchased and how they're monitored and that sort of thing.
That's the second.
Okay, so we do have a purchasing policy in place, and I can get you a copy of that. But I've also been gathering some capital asset policies, and we'll have those prepared for the board, so you can take a look at it and see if that's something you would want to do.
Thank you much.
Okay. Stephanie had sent an email to me about some items, and one of the things was additional meetings with regards to workshops. And I was going to bring those up during when we were talking about the state of the county budget, because that is really something that the board needs to look at. There are some reductions in some revenues and we need to take a look at those. She had requested a copy of organizational charts for each of the departments, and I brought that up at the department head meeting and asked them to do that so that you would each have those.
Great.
She asked about departmental reports coming to the Board of Commissioners. And so we will we'll kind of bring in different departments in each month when we have the Board of Commissioners meetings, and allow them to give a report of some sort to the board so that it familiarizes them
Yeah,
with.
Tracy, you know what I would like to see is each department present their own budget. The department head present their budget. I think that helps us get an idea of what's going on in the department, and we can communicate directly with them. So maybe that's a way for us to get familiar with them as well.
I can give you a copy of their budgets if you'd like.
Okay,
This was one of the things that I emailed to you was the
Yeah.
complete budget.
yeah,
Those are,
yeah.
all the department budgets are in there.
Back in New Hampshire, each department head used to present their budget. And so if we had questions, we're looking at their budget, we're asking the department head, and then they can go back, talk with their people, and, it really worked well. So I mean, that's a thought.
They do that. They do present budgets during the budget process.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if that's what you're referring to.
It is,
And they
and
present it to the whole board.
yes, yes. That's what I'm talking about. And I'd like to see us start on the budget sooner rather than later. And then maybe we could have each department present their budget to the whole board.
Okay.
Does that sound like a good idea? I don't know, I'm throwing
I
it.
think it
It
would.
sounds like it holds the departments more accountable for their.
That's what it
they-
did. Yeah,
I want you to know that when the departments input their budgets into the system, and I'll use Michelle Amberzitis, for example. When she inputs her budget into the system, I'm allowed to, I can print that out for you. And she also puts in footnotes in there that spells out what those line items are for and what she's put in there.
but it's nice to speak with the head
Oh,
to get,
yeah, yes, you can do that, but I'm just saying that I can present that to you according
Ahead
to
of
what
time.
they've provided.
Right. And maybe that can detail their prior year's budget with the current year's budget. And if there's
Yes.
a difference, they can tell us why. there's a
yes,
Difference in an increase in the budget
yes.
the prior year.
Right.
So.
Okay. So with regards to them coming in and giving reports, we'll change those up so we have different ones each board meeting so that you can get reports from each of those. Let's see. On your desk, there is a couple policies with regards to payroll reimbursement and hazard pay policy. I set that on there just to allow you to read it, and we can talk about it at the next board meeting. But there have been some issues with regards to COVID reimbursement for hazard pay at the county level. And that is because Clare County does not have a hazard pay policy. We have not paid out any hazard pay, but we don't have a policy in place either. So if the board wants to look at that, discuss it at a later time, it may give us the opportunity of getting reimbursement if we were to put something like this in place.
Tracy, could you put a sample hazard pay policy together and so that we can look at it? Is that,
Yes, that's what those are.
okay, that's what this is.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. Okay, I wanted to let you know that the hazard mitigation plan has gone through, and we do have that funding through our emergency management. Just wanted you to know that. And one other thing that I found out this last week, and if Carl wants to pipe in here in a minute, I may be able to get it all, but I had a conversation with the Michigan Association of Counties
Mhm.
after I talked with Carl, and an attorney named Stacy with regards to drain lake levels.
Huh.
Some of the constituents that live around those lakes are having a hard time getting insurance.
Yeah.
Simply because of the flooding and the problems that happened in Gladwin and Midland and those types of things. So my understanding is, and this hasn't been passed yet, but there's a possible bill that may be going through that would make the counties responsible for taking on those lakes. Any lakes that we have a lake level set for. It would be our responsibility to take those over. They would go on our insurance, but they would be able to charge those back under the special assessments.
But lakes are, correct me if I'm wrong, lake levels are dictated by the courts.
Correct.
So I'm not quite sure what liability we would assume if the courts.
Our attorney will probably come into the next meeting, explain everything, the bill that's going to be passed more than likely. I had the same question. I said, we've got some of our lakes that just have a little, like Lake George, for instance, it's a one little board.
Yeah.
And it's only 4 foot wide total. And that goes, runs into the gas company's property and stuff. And the question was, well, what happens if that whole lake empties out because of a storm or whatever? And I'm going, well, I can't see that happening, but I don't know. So our attorney will come in and she'll explain everything and why they're going to actually make the counties take over the insurances on it to cover it in case something does happen.
I actually did talk with that attorney and she said, I will come in and I'll explain everything to the board. But she said, you will be able to charge that back on the special assessments.
Yeah, everything will go back to the special assessment district, though. So it's no cost to the county itself, just the special assessment district for the lake level. They're the ones that are going to pay for it.
Hey, Tracy.
Yeah.
This is Lori. Can I be part of that meeting? Just because we do the floodplain management through the building department. And we worked with FEMA in 2011 and 2012 and did all the base flood elevations through the county and layered all the maps for the base flood elevations. And I'd like to be part of that to see how that's going to affect things here too.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure. So the only other thing I had was I placed a letter on your desk from the Department of Treasury, which is the STC saying that they had not received a petition for approval of a designated assessor for Clare County. And if you recall at the last board meeting, the Board of Commissioners approved that agreement with the townships for a designated assessor, and we're waiting on 2 signatures to get that into the Department of Treasury. They're telling Pete with equalization, as of yesterday, they've got 6 months to get it done, but it's not going to take them that long to get those 2 signatures, and they'll get that turned in.
Was one of those signatures from Franklin Township?
He didn't tell me. He just said that he was waiting on 2 of them.
Okay.
So,
Did he foresee any problems at all getting them?
no, not at all.
Okay. Lori,
Morning.
morning.
I have the revolving loan fund guidelines and the application for your review. I did send it in your email to look over, and it's in blue on your desk. I would like at least one commissioner to assist with the reviewing of the applications, if that's possible, along with the committee member, Mike Dugan, and myself. If you have any questions, suggestions, comments, or anything for the COVID-19 guidelines response, that'd be awesome.
I could volunteer.
I would too. It doesn't matter to me.
Two's great.
Stephanie and Dale then.
Perfect. Thank you. And then I'll get that out advertised, and what I sent you, feel free to post on your Facebook page or whatever works. I'm gonna write this down just a second. Okay, our home health aides were able to receive their vaccination 2 weeks ago, the first dose, and we are currently assisting in scheduling our clients for a vaccination clinic next week. The clinic will be next week. We have a lot of people that do not have access to the internet, so we are scheduling for them. We have quite a long list, and we're working with the health department on that. And then the only other thing I have for you today is we're still waiting on the approval of our drawings for the engineering that we had done. The USDA engineer has to approve those before we can put it out to bid. And then once we get it back and put the bid package out, it has to be out to bid for 30 days.
Is this on the Odd Fellows Hall?
Well, we did not purchase the Odd Fellows Hall.
Okay.
We were going to, but we ended up not purchasing that because making it accessible was going to cost us far too much money than what we were going to, be able to borrow. So we purchased the building next door, which is the former Murphy's Beauty College.
Okay, thanks.
So, okay, does anybody have any questions for me?
Yeah, Lori, about how many people have signed up on the internet for the COVID?
For 65 and older, about 1,500.
1,500?
Yeah.
So you say you're going to start scheduling them, what, next week or?
We're actually working on that right now, scheduling them right now, because there's going to be a clinic next week. And so we are scheduling, the clinic is by invitation only. The problem that the health department is having is that there are people that they're calling us, and then they're also calling and signing up at other places like 2 and 3 times. And the health department doesn't have any way of knowing, that there's a duplicate. So somebody shows up, they've already signed up 3 times, and they actually think that there's 3 people coming to get the vaccination. That a lot of the people that we work with, they're just they're very worried. They're panicked. They want to hurry and get this vaccination. So they're signing up all over the place, but we're going to hopefully streamline that, at least help streamline that with the health department, and get these people in next week.
I know Lori, myself and Jeff sit on the Central Michigan Health Board, and I had talked to Steve Hall, the director, last week. And last week was the end of the first batch of shots or vaccinations they had, and they were going to be waiting about 2 weeks to get more in as far as the health department. Now, I had heard that some people's personal physicians were calling them, and they were setting them up to go down to Isabella County and get their shot. So, but for right now, I believe, unless things have changed in the last couple of days, Clare County won't see another batch of vaccinations for another week and a half.
So are we out of vaccinations now? Or is that what you're saying, Dan?
Steve said, yes.
I just got a letter from the health department last night, and I can forward it to all of you. On Thursday, January 14th, they'd requested 4,725 doses of the vaccine, and they received 1,200.
Right.
So you're saying that we're out of vaccine right now?
Yep. To date, they have vaccinated 2,300 individuals in the different counties, and they're finishing vaccinating those in priority 1A and are working on those eligible in the 1B priority group, including residents who are 65 years and older. There are over 16,000 residents signed up who are over 65 years of age.
And they might not be able to start next week then, as you're proposing then?
I'm working with somebody at the health department to get this set up for next week. So
hopefully the
fingers
stockpile,
crossed.
is going to bring more in. They've released what was in the stockpile, and a lot of those were for the second shot people. So they're gonna try and get more people initially vaccinated to start with the first shot. So I know the federal government had a bunch in stockpile, and I know they'd released that. I don't know when the states are gonna start to see those, hopefully soon.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Lori. You. Okay, next up, Carl Parks is going to talk to us about the Little Tobacco Drain. I've been getting some calls and I am not familiar with it whatsoever. It happened before I was on the board, and for the new people here and maybe a refresher for the people that are familiar with it, we've asked him to come in and explain it to us in case we have get asked any questions from our communities. Carl?
Good morning and welcome new board members. Okay, as Jeff said, he's getting some calls, I'm getting some calls. Update on the Little Tobacco Drain. Back in August 19th, 2020, everybody should have a copy of this on their desk also, I believe. We did have a Zoom and in person. In July 16th, we had the notice of the letting. August 7th and 14th, notices were put in the Clark County Review, posted on county websites and outside the wall of the drain office. A notice of sent to assessment district was August 7th. Total cost of the project is $11,100,000. MDOT prepaid at $1,704,238.16. Amount to be assessed was $9,395,761.84. 70% is Clare County's share of the district, which is $6,577,033.29. There was some payments. Let me see where I'm at here. After some prepayments, the total came down to $8,655,000. And assessment period is 20 years at 3.30%. Things have been moving rather quickly the last couple of weeks. We've had several meetings. We're getting everything in place. They're supposed to be, actually, they were supposed to be started yesterday. Start doing some clearing on the drain, on the Little Tobacco Drain. There's also demolition that should be starting pretty soon. So far, we have 3 homes that have been accepted the appraisal and have been closed already. We have 6 more that have accepted that still have to be closed on. Another additional 6 more accepted, 6 that are getting second appraisals and 1 uncommitted and 6 rejected so far. The Fema Grant was for $1,650,445 with a county match of $550,148.33. That does not mean the county, Clare County, does not have to pay that. Everything goes right back to the assessment district. The only thing the county is going to get hit with is the regular assessment that they're going to have. I guess what I'm going to say, if anybody has any comments about what's going on or complaining about what's going on, the fees that they're having to pay. I've got a phone number here. It's on the sheet for you of Charles Smith. He's from Spicer Group. He's the engineer. They're the ones that set the district, the cost and everything. So I do have a number for him if anybody needs it. It's 586-383-8244.
Could you give us the scope of the work and why they're doing it for a little background history on that?
Yeah, apparently way back when, even before I was drain commissioner, I believe it was back in 2005, don't quote me for sure on that. They wanted to get it cleaned out back then because of the flooding that was going on. And it was turned down, I believe, twice. And way back when, the cost of the project would have probably only been about $3 million to get everything done. And of course, as time goes on, prices go up. And that's why we're up to the $11 million right now. The city of Clare are the ones that petitioned the drain commissioner to have this done. And their council agreed on it. So as soon as that was done, we started moving on the project.
And what are they doing? Is it, where are they working at? What are they doing? Obviously,
Okay, it's gonna-
a drain, but
It's gonna start on the east side of US 10. They're gonna be doing just clearing right there, clearing trees out of the drain, anything that could fall into the drain, those are gonna be removed. And it continues on the west side of the expressway, US 10, goes down through past what's Eberhart Road, crosses through the city of Clare, goes down, it meanders all over the place and goes into Isabella County.
that's
That's
that type of thing. And
I'm sorry.
it's clearing brush, putting in tubes, that type of thing.
Yeah, they're gonna be replacing, I believe it's 5 or 6 bridges
Okay,
in the city.
so
These bridges are just shot. They need to be replaced. And it's gonna take all these homes that are, the 22 homes that we are trying to get out of the flood zone. That's gonna be a big help. Now, the property belongs to us now. Those places that are sold belongs to the Drain Commission. I imagine we're probably gonna turn that back over to the city of Clare. They still won't have a tax base from it. And the reason they won't, because nothing can ever be built there again. So it's just gonna be more of a beautiful area. They could put benches on the drain if they wanted to. But that's about it. They can't ever build on that.
okay, and it's set in place. You know, I know people are.
It's a done-
Now, what can you pretty much can't do anything about that. It's
It is a done deal. It's going through. At one time, I almost even thought about stopping it myself because of the cost. And from our attorneys, they said, no way, you can't stop it now. If something happened, I would be responsible. The county would be responsible if there was a flood, injuries, death. And so it had to move forward.
Carl, I thought at the beginning of this project, a majority of the cost was gonna be Isabella County.
No, Clare County's got the biggest portion because it's in Clare County. Most of it's in Clare County.
What did it originally, I know when it was presented to us, I was on the board then, I was thinking it was substantially lower the cost of this project. Like you had mentioned, it was like gonna be like $2,000 or $3,000 or
Million.
$2 or $3 million. And I mean, it's went from $2-3 million up to 11 million. And do we foresee it going even higher?
No, this is it. These are the numbers. It's a done deal.
Okay, because I know there's a lot of grumbling out there
Right.
for the cost, and a lot of people are starting to see just on their taxes and that.
Mhm.
So there's
For the next 20 years. Yep.
it's the big surprise, you know, when we were going through our budget and we were talking about all of these millages that we were adding on. I had mentioned about wait till people start opening their taxes. That's when there's gonna be the grumbling, and it's happening.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why we have the day of review for people to come in. You know, everybody gets a letter. They have an opportunity to come in and look at everything to say, hey, this ain't right, something's not right here, blah, blah, blah. And then we look at it and see if it's normal or not. We just had one in Isabella County. It's on our county line. The Tomaskis down in Clare. They had a major complaint saying they got hit with $3,200 for 2-acre partial. So Isabella County and Isabella County Drain Commissioner and Charles, they sat down and met with them, went over everything and found out that what happened was they put them in as commercial instead of residential. So he was right for coming in and checking it. And that's why I'm saying, if, people need to get a hold of Charles if there is an issue. And they'll go over things if they have to, but more than likely, things are not gonna change. This was just one, so.
You know what the average tax increase is? for-
It depends on acreage, how much you got, yep. Any other questions?
Thanks, Carl.
You're welcome, thank you.
Okay. Rick, can you read number 1 on the Justice Committee?
Right on the front.
Just use this one.
Right there.
Back there. Oh, flip it over. There you go. Right there. Top of that motion. Merchant
Okay.
Services Agreement.
Motion to reappoint Michael Conway as a citizen representative to the.
Nope.
See your
Nope,
pages
nope.
must be mixed up.
There it is,
Here's mine.
right there.
You want the Merchant Services, right?
All right, got it.
Your pages are out of order. Okay.
To allow the sheriff's department to enter into a merchant service agreement for sub-merchants credit card purchases at the jail.
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Question, cost? Is there cost involved with this?
I have that question too. Dwayne, you sent the email out. Are you out there? Could you explain this to us?
Yes, there's no cost to the county. It's a formality with the sub-merchant for the kiosk in the jail, just to allow the inmates to use the credit cards. It's smoother. They do it with all the jails they work with, but the attorney approved it and there's no cost to us.
No cost to the county. Okay. Second it?
Somebody already did.
Somebody already did? Okay.
Anybody else? Roll call, Lori?
Rankin,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Asplund,
Yes.
Pitchford,
Yes.
Bristol,
Yes,
Majewski,
Yes.
Haskell.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Stephanie, can you take the next motion, number 2, 911 Advisory Board?
Motion to reappoint Michael Conway as the citizen representative to the 911 Advisory Board and a two-year term to expire December 31st, 2022.
Any discussion? Roll call, Lori?
Brown,
Yes.
Majewski,
Yes.
Asplund,
Yes.
Rankin,
Yes.
Pitchford,
Yes.
Bristol,
yes,
Haskell.
Yes. Dale, could you take that?
Pass that out. MDOT resolutions. Motion to approve resolution of intent 21-01 to apply for financial assistance for the fiscal year 2021 for our public transportation program, contract resolution fiscal year 2021, number 2002, which allows Tom Pernstow to execute contracts with MDOT, which are 1,271,500 or less. Resolution authorizing adoption and ratification of contract clauses, certification 21-01, which governs how any transit project requires apply and such clauses apply to a federally funded contract for fiscal year 2021. The resolution adoption and ratification of Public Act 51 to maintain an accessibility plan with MDOT 21-04, addressing accessibility for all residents.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Jeff, may I ask a question?
Yeah.
Tracy, is that second resolution number correct, 20-02, or should it be 21-02?
Should be 21.
Yep.
My apologies.
Okay to amend your
Yes,
motion? Okay,
Yep,
thank you.
good catch.
Tom,
Yes, sir.
got anything to add to this for us?
Well, I'd like to, for the new people that are on the board, I'd like, so you could understand this a little bit better. First of all, congratulations, Jeff and Dale. and welcome to the new people.
Thank you.
I avail myself to the new people. Anytime you want to know anything about the trans, I'll be happy to make some time for you.
Okay.
It's a little intricate, but we can get through that. Rick's going to find out that everybody on the board, and welcome to our board, by the way.
Thank you.
Is very passionate about public transit in Clare County.
Yeah.
In our constitution, specifically, it says in our bylaws, specifically for the elderly and for the challenge, people have physical challenge or mental challenge. So that's a big part of what we do in the county. So he'll get a good taste of that. So thank you for coming on board. MDOT, there's about 82 other transit agencies in Michigan. We're set up a little bit different. We are a private nonprofit corporation. We don't have anything to do with the county, with the exception of contractual to provide public transportation. So MDOT gives the money to the county. You are the subrecipient of the money. And then we do everything for you, if you will. So reasons for me signing all the contracts is because every time I get a contract, I'd have to come over and bug you at every meeting. And it's just wasteful time for everybody. So that's not just one thing for 1.2 million. It's a bunch of different contracts, mainly for buses. There's some other capital things to go with that. So with being a nonprofit, we have our own board of directors. We raise our own money. We don't ask the county for anything with the exception of the millage goes to the county for us. So we get the millage and then we get assistance from the state and the federal for eligible expenses. We pick up a few dollars, obviously with the fares we do, but also advertising on the buses, things like that. So that comprises the whole thing. The resolution of intent has to go in the newspaper so people can understand what they're doing and they have an opportunity to comment on it. I don't know if Tracy gave you the contract clauses. It's like that. If you want to look.
Welcome to read them.
I'm good.
That's a document that says this is what Clark County Transit is going to do for them. We make sure all the contracts with ADA sort of stuff. So that's what those resolutions are for. Accessibility plan is reviewed every year by the LIC, Local Area Council, and Advisory Council. And we talk about whether or not the service area has changed, fares have changed, things like that, so we can get good representation to everybody in the county. In the first, I'll just point out the one that says looking at performance indicators that was in the contract. A lot of people don't know what's a performance indicator. Every month, our board goes through that, and it's basically we look at miles, drivers, hours, and fuel. That's what MDOT looks at, and we look at that every monthly meeting and talk about it, good, bad, whatever. So that's what that means. If you have any other questions, I'm available. Yes.
Yes, does all the funding come through the millage? Or
I'm sorry.
all the funding that you receive, does it come through the millage?
No. We get assistance from the state and federals. We have to submit a budget. This is what I'm doing today for the application for 2022. We project, how much a gallon of diesel is going to cost in 2 years. The best guess. We get paid on eligible expenses. So the feds are probably the only ones that stay consistent. They're about 18%. They pay for that.
What's the millage percent?
Percent is right now it's 5%. They're 5 mills. We did have 2 mills since we started in 1980. First millage was 87, I think. Anyway, it stayed that way up until last year. We asked for another millage because we were going in a hole, if you will, just like everybody else does. And it was passed. So that represents about $500,000.
5%.
That's on the 5 mills. And that's represented in that resolution of intent.
Okay.
That would be half a mil. You're not getting 5 mils. Just so you know.
0.5.
Yeah.
0.5.
Half a mil.
0.5.
Oh, I'm sorry. 0.5.
5%.
Thank you, Jen.
0.5. Big difference.
You're welcome.
It would cost you a lot more money, wouldn't it?
0.5. Thank you.
So we, this year, we're estimating, or 2022, we're estimating about 280,000 for state funds. And I'm sorry, federal funds, 281,000, state funds, 587,000. You see, there's a lot of money that comes down from the federal government through the CARES Act because of the COVID, and then subsequent acts over that. That's why the federal funds are a little bit higher.
I understand the federal budget's going to be expanded quite a bit, and maybe that will be increased then, do you think?
I don't know. It's up to the women FTA or in the government.
Okay.
I don't know. Our estimated fare box about $300,000. That comes from public fares. And we also have a couple of contracts with people, Sparks program and MMI. Ridership is down because of COVID, and we're trying to build that back up, but we don't have control over some of those items.
Yeah.
So before you vote on that, or if you have any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you.
I need a second.
I did.
Oh, did you?
I thought you did, yeah.
Roll call.
Majeski,
Yes.
Bristol,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Pitchford,
Yes.
Rankin,
Yes.
Asplund,
Yes.
Haskell.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Tom?
Thank you.
Could I indulge the commissioners for a minute?
Is that a snack?
I have a presentation for Mr. Majeski. As we all know, we always have a little rivalry going.
Oh, no.
And I got a present for him to probably display on his desk.
Just remember repercussions.
That's true, but for now, I get the floor.
Motion passed, so that's going.
This is in recognition of Michigan ducking playing Ohio State this year.
Oh,
It's scarlet color, so I want you to make sure you take care of that.
Awesome.
Hey, Tom.
oh.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Ouch. Thanks, Tom.
Okay, on to the gypsy moths. Samantha, can you take A?
Motion to approve the Gypsy Moth Suppression Program Service Agreement between the Clare Conservation District and the County of Clare in the amount of $20,000 with funds to come from the Gypsy Moth millage.
Second.
Any discussion?
Are we spraying more, Melissa? Is that why it's more?
The reason why, and I have a write-up if you'd like to see it, we are spraying more, and I'd like to, with the addition of Fetch GIS to the county program, I would like to do a digital platform. So my counters, instead of printing off all the maps of each section for each township, I'd like to purchase laptops. That way they can input it right out in the field and there's no misjudging of handwriting. I also would like to have decals when our counters go out. We've went on places, they were not posted to our knowledge. It might have been an old sign that blew off and they're met with hostiles or landowners that really are not understanding why these people are on their property. What we'd be doing is purchasing decals where they can put it on their mailbox or signs indicating that they want counted.
I know it was such a hot topic last year, the Gypsy Moth program. A lot of upset citizens. I think it's very important we do what it takes to get it right this year.
Yes, in 2016, when I first started with the Conservation District, we were lucky to get 5 calls. Last year, I've received over 1,800 calls.
Yep.
And for those of your welcome new commissioners, my door is always open because this is going to be a hot topic for a couple of years until we are able to manage the populations.
I do have a lot of, I read through this and have a lot of questions and whatnot, but it'd probably be better to discuss them during the committee meeting. I'm on the Gypsy Moth committee, so prior, before decisions are made and whatnot, I'm sure that's what the intent of that committee is. So the
Yep.
sooner we meet, the better.
Yup, I'm available right after this meeting.
Okay.
Do you have any like broad that is relating to the upcoming motions?
No, just very specific.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Any other questions?
Not till the next motion. Roll call.
Pittsford,
Yes.
Majewski,
Yes.
Asplund,
Yes.
Bristol,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Bankin,
Yes.
Haskell.
Yes. Sandy, could you take B?
Yes. Motion to approve the agreement for purchase of application to control gypsy moth populations between Al's Aerial Spraying LLC and the County of Clare at a rate of $44.71 per acre of approximately 20,000 acres.
Does, I'm sorry,
Second.
Dale second it?
Sure.
Did this go out to bid?
Yes.
Yes.
It did. Okay. And Al's was the cheapest?
That was her only.
He's the only one
The
that,
only one?
He's always the only one.
Really?
Melissa, I got a question.
Yup.
44.71 per acre. What was the last spraying and how much is it? And
increased it.
71, so $10 different.
what was the reason for the increase? That's a substantial increase.
Question. Yeah.
I did not inquire, my board did not have me inquire, but the cost of everything is going up. And there's also more of a demand for the application. Michigan was not, the state of Michigan as a whole was not the only state to have extreme population outbreaks, Pennsylvania, so it's supply and demand.
Well, and if you recall, he asked for the county to not put this out to bid, to leave the contract where it was. And so,
So it didn't go out to bid?
yeah, it did go out to bid.
that's why it got raised up $10 an acre.
He increased his rate in the next bid.
Well, I mean, just because we put it out to bid, that's not right.
I don't know for sure if that's the reasoning, but I'm just saying.
Before I this, I would like a reason why it's gone up $10 more this year than last.
We've had that happen in the past when we put stuff out for bids and they would have kept it at the same. And then when the new bid came in, they.
Yeah,
increased it.
but
Just
that's,
Labor's went up. I'm sure the fuel for spraying has went up.
but you
Everything
can't,
has went up. so
you
it makes
can't do
sense.
that. I mean, that's a policy we have, is to put things out to bid.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and we
It's not
did.
that-
And this
yeah.
is the cost. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. That's.
Well, that's no reason.
Be aware that he is pretty much the only one in
Yeah,
the
well, I'd
state.
still like an explanation why it went up $10 over last year.
She said,
Because he can.
did you say why?
The cost and demand of the spray,
Well, can we get something in writing, or
I can reach out.
I'd like to know. I think, we're dealing with people's money here.
Is that using up the whole millage for the year? Pretty much the 20,000 acres?
So the 20,000 acres is a rough estimate. I also need to hold money back for our counters because I start the fall surveys in August when we can, so that way when the millage is up for next year, because it's up to a mill, I have enough information to give you guys an informed decision. I've talked it over with Jenny,
Okay,
How many acres did we spray last year again?
around 9,000.
Around 9,000.
That was part of the reason that I suggested having a commissioner placed on the committee is so that we were making sure that their gypsy moth funds were, there was enough for the spraying, for the gypsy moth counters, for the, and I know that Melissa oversees that, but if we have someone in there, then we can oversee that as well.
Did you have anybody this last year when you were out counting? Did you have anybody that, are you seeing an increase, let me say it that way, in people that don't want to be sprayed compared to people that do?
Last year was the first year I had a call back from an individual that turned in a no spray, and then she called me and said that this was the worst decision she's ever made. Everybody seems to be for it.
Yeah.
And what will happen is if somebody opts out, they tend the next year to want to opt in.
Right. Now, people understand too that state land does not get sprayed.
Yes.
And there's quite a few, there's a lot of factors that if this parcel wants to be sprayed, but the one next to it doesn't want to be sprayed, that won't be sprayed.
Correct. Correct. You have to have a buffer and they can waive the buffer. So it depends if they waive the buffer or not. We also have to have at least, I believe, 25 acre spray block to spray, or else it's not it's not feasible.
Right.
I got a question, excuse my ignorance about the application of the gypsy moth. When they do what's different than the crop dusting plane? I mean, is it different applications for do they do it with plane, helicopter, or?
They can do either a plane or a helicopter. The aerial applicator we go with typically has yellow crop dusters. And there's different nozzles, and they do have to go through rigorous certification process and pull permits to be able to spray.
So that's the reason there's only one in the state, because
Yes,
have we reached out to any other crop dusters, see if they're interested in getting that?
yes, I've submitted the bid to 3 companies.
Do you have the names of those 3 companies or?
Hatfields.
I believe one of them's out of Texas.
One of them is from Arkansas. Hatfields aerial, they use helicopters, and we also did hammock, and they're the ones out of the state.
The reason I'm asking, just through my trails to the state, I mean, I can name off 10 different crop dusters I know around the state of Michigan. I didn't know if the application is different from what they're doing. If they might be interested, if they would go seek the.
Another thing is when you do forest canopy treatment of aerial application, you're also spraying near protective waterways, where as a crop, you are on a field.
Mhm.
roll call.
Could I amend that to get a written breakdown for additional cost information
I think Al.
before we?
Is Al on here?
I see Al. I don't know if it's that Al. I think
Mr.
that's
Schiff?
your Al. I think that's Al from Al Spraying.
Can you hear us?
Al, you out there?
On my side, it looks like he's trying to connect to audio. It doesn't look like he's connected to audio.
Doesn't even, yeah, I don't see anything. He was, and it seems like it's gone again.
I'd like to amend that to request a written breakdown before we vote, before it's voted on.
Was there anything included in the RFP that he sent in?
I will go and grab the binder, if that's okay.
Unmute him.
Yeah, see if that helps. Can you hear us?
Trying to get him.
Isn't there a January 31st deadline for application for permit to do the spraying?
Well, I'll have to wait for Melissa to get back to see that.
I'm looking through this packet that was.
That's Al from Al Spraying, because Al Spraying, he'll have to unmute himself. It won't do it at the same.
Okay.
Oh, no. No, that's Ron Forever.
Okay. There she comes.
That's his name, Al.
Can you open it up to what, where the breakdown is as to why it's $10 more?
The bid form. And there's no,
So there's nothing in here. There's nothing. No. You didn't even put anything in there. Why is it's $10 more? I strongly suggest we wait.
How readily available is Al, Melissa? Could you call him right now?
yes, I could, is there a phone around here?
Is there a deadline of the end of the month for the application?
We would like to move forward because there's a federal flight.
A lot of people would like to move forward, but when you're dealing with the people's money here, I think we've got an issue.
I understand.
But we would also have an issue if we miss the deadline for the application for the permit.
Who's speaking,
The
please?
people did vote in the money for the millage, and if they pass that millage and then we didn't get sprayed, to me, that's a much bigger issue.
Yeah, but we were, yeah, who's speaking, please?
Ron Peremba?
Okay, Ron, we were just told there is not a January 31st deadline.
Yeah.
What is the deadline for the FAA application?
I do not know because Al usually handles that.
If this were so important, you'd think Al would be here.
And he may be on, but
You can't get on.
having issues.
That's not him, right?
I don't know, but that person has to unmute from their end because it won't let me do it from my end. I asked if that's them, if they would unmute, but it's not working.
It's up to the rest of the board, but I just think, this significant increase, as Dale said, and this is the people's money, so we have to look at it.
Was that dollar amount already discussed when the millage was passed? Does anybody know?
No. We put it back out for bids though. And back on, and he was a little bitter.
He's the only.
He was the only bidder.
Right.
There's really not an option.
Yeah,
First thing we need to know that if there's a FAA deadline, so we don't miss that.
right, Rhett.
Unfortunate as the increase is,
I got a
we
question
don't
for you,
want to miss
Melissa.
the,
If that's the deadline, yeah.
How, the date of spray, is that monitored by you guys on to when the caterpillars hatch? And it's,
Yes.
so is not signing this contract right now, would that be detrimental that he might do that for somebody else at the time that we're ready?
He's, the way the state's laid out and the way they hatch, you know, it's depending, like, usually.
As it warms up, he goes further north type thing?
Yeah,
Cause I kind of agree with both parties here. It is, why is it $10 extra?
Right.
But
If there's a deadline,
like Ron said, is this gonna, if
But what do we do if he,
we don't know,
not a spray, no matter
we
what?
don't know if there's a deadline though.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's no deadline for the contract,
Can we
wait a week or two.
table this and go on to the rest of these motions and could you
Yeah.
maybe see if you could find that information out for us, Melissa?
yes, and I
Great.
will reach him.
Yeah, it's like, well, you know, we've got another half hour or so. Could you do it now, you think? Or
Yeah.
that'd be perfect. Come on back when you're done and we'll.
Okay.
Main thing is the reason that it's $10 more an acre.
Nope, I did call the office and I received no answer, so I'm gonna try some other avenues. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we need a motion to table it or can we just say we're tabling it?
Well,
We can just table it.
Okay,
as we address it in the same,
okay.
Round one,
because there's a motion on the floor.
you take number 3.
okay. Motion to reappoint Thomas House, Terry Thayer, Scott Owens, and Mike Jenkins to the Board of Appeals Construction Board with terms to end on December 31st, 2022.
make a second?
These people have already agreed?
Yep.
Yes.
Is that Tom House, the,
Principal.
yeah.
No, he's an electrician.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They've been on the Board of Appeals for a long time, and we do use the Board of Appeals once in a great while.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Roll call, Lori.
Asplund,
Yes.
Bankin,
Yes.
Majeski,
Yes.
Pitchford,
Yes.
Bristol,
Yes,
Brown,
Yes.
Haskell.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Rick, could you do number 4?
USDA Rural Development Business Enterprise Grant. Motion to adopt a USDA Rural Development Rural Business Enterprise Grant for Clare County Small Business Revolving Loan COVID-19 Response Guide.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Is this what Lori's doing?
yes,
Roll call, Lori.
Bankin,
Yes.
Majeski.
Yep.
Bristol,
yes,
Asplund,
Yes.
Pitchford,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Haskell.
Yes. Stephanie, can you take Finance Committee, number 1?
Motion to approve statutory finance committee meeting minutes of December 14th, 2020, December 28th, 2020, and January 11th, 2021 in the amount of $101,000, $101.63, $39,238.93, and $120,376 typo
And 47 cents.
and 40 cents.
That's the one.
I'll second it.
Hold that thought.
Correction.
Hold on a second. I just want to make sure that
Okay,
number is correct.
okay.
And 41 cents.
41 cents, 7, okay.
Finger slipped.
So I'd second that with the corrections. Correction.
Roll call, Lori.
Brown,
Yes.
Bristol,
Yes,
Asplund,
Yes.
Majeski.
Yes.
Pitchford,
Yes.
Bankin,
Yes.
Haskell.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Dale, you do number 3?
Sure.
3.
Two. Yeah.
I gotta do 2.
Oh,
Two.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. To approve the expenditures of the month for December 2020 in the amount of $1,346,544.41 with the general fund expenditures totaling $867,053.15.
I'll second that.
Roll call, Lori?
Majeski,
Yes.
Crystal,
Yes.
Pitchford,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Lincoln,
Yes.
Asplund,
Yes.
Pascal.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Samantha, could you do 3?
Motion to approve budget adjustment 21-15, 21-16, 21-17, and 21-18 in the amount of $5,620.16, $142,000, $6,000, and $17,400 to be distributed.
I'll second that. Speak up, people, speak up. Looks like I'm hogging the
You're doing
seconds.
so good.
Roll call?
Pitchford,
Yes.
Crystal,
Yes.
Lincoln,
Yes.
Majeski,
Yes.
Asplund,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Pascal.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Sandy, can you do 4?
Sure. Clerk intergovernmental agreement. Motion to approve the intergovernmental agreement between the County of Gladwin and the County of Clare to provide clerk services and allow the county clerk and board chair to sign.
Second.
Lori, can you explain that one a little bit?
I can. 1 second. What happened is over in Gladwin County, they got a new clerk elected. She had a staff of 4, and 3 of the 4 people are no longer there. So they left 1 person in her office who does not handle court whatsoever, has never went into court. So the Gladwin County clerk reached out to me to ask if I would be willing to help. Of course, I agreed, but the extent of the help that she needs is great. And in the initial process of this, I thought we would be spending a little more time over there than what it ended up being. She needs a lot more time training than what's being allowed by Gladwin County in the form of 10 hours. I think it was 10 hours a week, the contract said, for a maximum of $2,000 over a 2-month period is what they're willing to expend. But I didn't think it would, initially, I thought it would be more hours. I didn't think it would be fair to Clare County to have our employees go over there and us pay them to work over there. In the past, we have went back and forth, and like Gladwin County came over and helped me when I was new on some things, but it wasn't to the extent that I thought this should be. And my staff has an extremely large caseload. So that was another factor. So we were going to mainly do just on Friday because that's the only day we don't have court. And the staff had agreed to go over after hours and work. And that's, we really can't spare them during the day, 4 days a week. So that's where we're at. Gladwin County wasn't willing to do more than 10 hours. We'll probably have that $2,000 ate up in the first month, but that's all they would agree to. So
Gladwin would pay for this person to go over and do the work
yes, and
after hours.
yes, and payment or on Fridays during the day possibly. But what would happen is I asked Jody to set up a different line item for when they're in Gladwin County. We're going to bill them monthly for the hours that our staff would be over there. And I did have the attorney look everything over and confirm that any workman's comp or anything would be under Clare County. They're not working for Gladwin County. They're working for Clare County, and we're invoicing them.
So this is not going to put your department short to where you're going to.
That's the only way I would agree to do it. We can't set up a schedule because every day changes. And most days we have court, so it's only on a basis that they're available. If I have someone out sick or someone on vacation, no one can be gone from the office. And it's only if we if we can manage in our office. It's by Fridays is a good day because we typically don't have court on Fridays. Every other day of the week, we have a full docket.
Second.
Roll call.
Did you second it?
I think it's already been.
Did I already second it? Oh, I didn't hear you.
You have
Sorry.
to second it for discussion.
Okay.
Bristol,
Yes.
Fitchburg,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Asplund,
Yes.
Majeski.
Yes.
Bankin,
Yes.
Pascal.
Yes. Can you do the last motion?
Motion to approve the claims processing policy, including the list of pre-authorized claims.
I'll second that.
And I'd like a little bit of explanation on that, please. Lori, can you explain what that's all about?
Probably Tracy would be, well, Tracy and I discussed it. Claims. The claims list is a list of items. Tell me if I'm explaining this wrong, Tracy. A list of items that does not require board approval, just, or finance department approval. I initially questioned this because I signed the checks. So when checks were being brought to me to sign that weren't approved by finance, I questioned Jody and she said she had a list that was approved at prior meetings by the board members, that these items did not have to go before finance or the Board of Commissioners. They could just be paid. I looked up in the purchasing policy and found that that's true for utility bills, things that can't wait a month to be paid. But she indicated these were done, and they've had this list for years and they've always done it this way. And so Tracy and I discussed it, and Tracy felt it would be best to bring it back to the board for reapproval to disperse these items without going before finance and the Board of Commissioners.
I don't like that. It does not go before the finance and the Board of Commissioners. I think we need to see that.
I realize that, but there are deadlines with some of the stuff. We have done a Wednesday check run since way before I started working here, and that's what this list is. It's utility bills. It's there's credit card bills that have to be sent in by deadlines certain times so we don't get late payments.
Well, like
types of things.
there's certain, utility bills and so on that's standard, but
I've provided the list and
I
can look that over there, and if you don't.
I think they need to go before the finance committee at least. I don't like that we approve it without seeing it.
And
I think those expenses all go through finance at one point, don't they? Because all the checks go through.
They are
finance
provided
at one point, but they might have been paid because of the deadline.
they don't all go before finance.
No, but they do get a copy of the list.
Yeah, that's the ones that.
They get a
go with
copy of it.
all the medical stuff, and so we do see a record of it
Yeah, we see it.
When?
at every finance meeting.
Finance meeting.
Prior to the checks being cut?
That I can't answer. I'm assuming they're already cut.
Correct.
I don't like that.
Are they distributed, by the finance committee, the checks? No? So if the finance committee would deny one, it would still be held for payment.
Those are the every Wednesday check run. We have, she sends out checks every Wednesday according to that list.
For the most part, they're payments that are statutory payments or already pre-approved in the budget that have to go out. For instance, it would be debt payments. It would be the trust and agency, so it's due to state. I don't know if that helps clarify any of that, but
That I have
obviously
no
it started
problem
way
with,
before
but
me.
There's those, not for most part, payments that really should be looked at by the committee, I think, before.
Which is what comes before the board during the finance. Those are not every Wednesday check run checks.
Okay, so we see those.
You get those, you approve those. Those are the ones you approve. We're talking the utility bills, those types of things that.
Yeah, that I agree with. but I'm saying,
That's what
That's the way it's
that's
been
the
done.
list that I'm asking you to approve.
okay, it's not any other than
If you look-
standard.
If
Yeah, I
you
did
at the
look.
list, that's what I'm asking you to approve.
Here's the list.
Yeah. See. Credit card signed by the administrator. Expand on that if you would.
The credit cards are used, there are certain credit cards throughout the county.
Yeah.
Those are brought to me to go through and make sure that we have all the documentation.
Our meals put on that,
that we're going by policy.
Yeah.
And then they are sent in for payment. If we wait for finance to approve those, then we're gonna have late payments on them and we're gonna end up paying late payments every month.
There's got to be a way where we can approve it before they're due. I mean, we worked that out back in New Hampshire. I would think some way we could work it out here. I recall back there, we had people putting their lunches on it with drinks into credit cards, and then the county.
I don't allow that to happen. I go by policy.
I understand, but sometimes it slips. And that's where, we're responsible. We're responsible.
Have we ever had a problem?
And if there has been a problem, as it relates to any policy issues, the credit card information is sent back to the department head and they're the ones that have to correct that.
At some point, Tracy's in the position to manage the budget and to make sure that we follow policy and procedure.
We have a fiduciary responsibility.
And that,
And, again, I'm thinking about our constituents.
right.
And it's just a matter of a double check. It's not,
And if I could maybe interject here, we do see that, and if the credit card one stands out, we can see a copy of that, and that could be distributed. So I have no problem if we okay this to be paid, because we see copies of this anyways.
after
If it-
they're paid.
Right, but if it's gonna happen, we could catch it anyways. So we're not holding up. I mean, you're gonna have a wash there as far as if you're paying late fees every month because you're not getting it in time.
But I don't see why we were able to get those approved in one state and you can't get them approved before they're due in another state. I don't understand that. Why can't we approve it before it's?
Well, we'd have to have a policy change then.
It's a timeline in which we receive the bill. We get all the documentation from the departments turned in and getting it paid. That's the issue.
What we did was Friday, we'd have at least half of the commissioners come in and sign off. And that was prior to the checks being sent out. So we knew, and I just think it's smart oversight.
Well, if we had half of our commissioners come in, wouldn't we have to post a meeting and?
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't, our commissioners, we only had 3, so.
Well,
you could say at least 2 commissioners come in.
but I'm already on that finance.
You gotta post
Coming in
ahead of time too.
twice a month.
Well, I know, I'm too,
At this point, I don't see a problem.
You're on the finance committee.
right?
Maybe I would suggest this. I'm going to vote yes for this, but if we vote yes, why don't we revisit it? Once you get up to speed and you see any issues that you feel that we're not checking right, then we bring it back in front of the board and we'll correct that.
All right,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
okay.
Can I add something that might help with things like a credit card? First, it goes through me
Okay,
and I go through them and I've caught things on occasion.
okay,
Then it also goes to Tracy and she's brought them back.
okay.
And then, like, for instance, there was several persons from the sheriff department went to training.
Mm-hmm.
and they mistakenly put some drinks on there, but they also gave us a check to cover that amount so that the county was.
And that's great, but it's still our responsibility.
Yeah,
as
I get it. I
commissioners.
get it. I'm just saying
And,
there's
you know-
another level of
Yeah,
We can't micromanage.
I say we can revisit this
Okay.
once you're up to speed, I feel.
okay.
Roll call.
Asplund,
No.
Crystal,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Rankin,
Yes.
Pitchford,
Yes.
Majeski,
Yes.
Haskell.
Yes.
Can I ask a question, Jeff? Just, Tracy, just for clarification, so anything that's on this list does not have to go before finance prior to going out, correct? So I can.
Prior to going out, but it needs to come to us.
Yeah, I'm not involved in that.
The list
Just so
part.
I know to sign them. If it doesn't come before finance, I can sign them and send them out if they're on this list.
And to the people, other people on finance, I did talk to Lori. She was having an issue with some of the checks saying that it didn't come in front of us, but what it was, it's something that had to hurry out. It came in front of us, we would sign off on it, but we would not publicly tell her what we were doing. And she questioned some of those, so we can go over that in the next meeting, but I feel that we need to alert her to all of them that we approve, so she can have it in the minutes and she knows about it also.
Yep, so
Okay.
if we have,
And I apologize for that because we just were running it. in front of
Jody and
us
I spoke about that
Right.
as well. If there are anything, if there's any items that come before the board, they will be written into the motion for you guys to read to make sure that she has that information.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, back to Gypsy Moss. What'd you find out?
Okay, I was on the phone with Al. He said, he apologized. He said he was online, but for some odd reason, he couldn't unmute himself and the connection was going in and out. I sent him an email with Tracy and Dom's email attached to it. And he is working on writing up a summary. From what he told me, it was cost of insurance also went out, liability insurance, fuel, and the spray.
Did he say when the deadline is for the application?
He wants to get it in as soon as possible because the FAA is working from home
But there's,
and it's taking
don't know what-
longer to process.
we don't know what the deadline is.
He'd like to get it as soon as possible so
Sure.
they can process it on time.
Sure.
He's still waiting on things he submitted a year ago.
Oh, boy.
And that's his price. He's firm there. And he explains the price going up is the cost of goods and insurance.
Yup, and fuel. Oh, that's good. And like I said, he will be emailing Tracy and Dawn and myself an explanation.
Okay, I'd still like to see the explanation before I vote on it.
I'm gonna,
I told him if he could submit it within 30 minutes, that would be fantastic. I told him to try and get it sent as soon as possible.
So it'll come to your phone?
It'll
Yes, you'll
come
get
to
it.
phone and their
Get it by
email.
email.
Okay.
We're kind of caught right now because if, we're not gonna deny it. You're not gonna deny spraying, that's for sure. But we can look over this for the following year with a fine tooth comb. I mean, you're not gonna deny getting sprayed this year.
there would be a riot.
Oh, I call for vote.
Roll call.
Crystal,
Yes.
Majeski,
Yes.
Rankin,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Pitchford,
Yes.
Asplund,
No,
Haskell.
Yes.
Motion carried.
But it does have to be reviewed for
Yeah.
next year.
Yes.
Because he will give an extension at that price, he says, for another year. Kind of the same game he played here, so.
don't put it out to
If we
bid,
don't put it out for.
which is against our policy.
Exactly.
It was put out to bid.
No, but he said the only way he'd keep it the same is if we didn't put it out to bid.
Well,
We'll have to make sure if we put it out for bid, there's some solid bids out there.
and I feel now that Stephanie's on this board also, she can, that in our interest also, you
First thing
know.
in our interest, we gotta find out why the bills available. If there's anybody else who's looking to do it, I mean, we do our research before we put it out to bid.
Good, good,
Yeah, think out the box.
good, Rick. Good.
Okay. Report.
Okay. One thing I want to point out, everyone's here today, but if you.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you. If you do join from Zoom, when we do roll call, you'll have to tell what city you're in, city and state. If you're in Florida, you have to tell where you're at, or if you're at home, just the city and state that you're in. If you do attend a meeting by Zoom, that was something I just learned. Elections, we do not have an election scheduled for May. Fingers crossed we don't have one all year, but as of right now, nothing is on the books for May. If anyone wants to put something on for May, the deadline is February 9th at 4 p.m. And just a reminder that whoever brings up an issue will have to pay for that election. It isn't paid for by the state or the county. My Register of Deeds scanning project, I came to you for approval to have the old books scanned in the basement. Of course, we couldn't do all of them because they weren't all Register of Deeds books, but the Register of Deeds portion we could, because we use the automation fund that's dedicated just to the Register of Deeds for advancing the technology. They came in and I think 8 days, 24 hours a day they were here. They ran 2 people for 12-hour and 2 12-hour shifts. It was pretty impressive. They brought all their equipment. They didn't need anything from us. They sat up in the hallway in the basement. I gave them access through the vault door there. They got all of that scanned. So now we're going to they're going to tweak all the images. They clean them up really good. I'm pretty excited to see that. So that is in the process. That way, if there's ever a fire, I know someone had commented it was a lot of money to scan books that are in a fireproof vault, but if there's a fire in that vault, say an electrical fire, the sprinklers come in and they ruin the books. So it may not necessarily be fire that ruins them, or if there's a flood or anything like that.
That's great.
So those documents are protected now. In our courts, we are working with court administrator Daryl Schlees to get up and running so that some of the staff can work from home if need be. And the judges are allowing 10 people in the courtroom now, even though phase 1 doesn't call for that. I believe it says no one in the courtroom, but they are allowing up to 10 people in the courtroom at a time. We still have not had a jury trial. So we're hopeful that they're going to get to a stage that they can do that. That's all I have for right now. Any questions?
Isabella County's gotten to jury trials.
Have they?
Yes.
Okay. Hopefully we will soon. There's a lot being put off.
Thank you. Ray. Treasurer's report.
Good morning.
Hi.
I just want to welcome all the new commissioners, new faces. Sandy, I've seen Sandy before. Welcome back.
Yeah.
And congratulations to Jeff and Dale for their new positions. I have a little bit here to give you. On your desk this morning, you should have seen the cash and fund balance report statutorily that I give every month. If you have any questions on those, you can give me a call, or come on in and see me. But that would have been as of yesterday. The cash and all the funds. You get a copy of all the funds and how they operate. Last month, I handed out our debt report of the debt of the county, and I will get new updated ones and hand them out in February, so the new commissioners have them as well. In my office tomorrow is our annual show cause hearing. The show cause hearings are for anyone that is at risk of losing their home due to back taxes. That is tomorrow from 10 to 4. We do have COVID precautions set in place. I've been working with Tracy and our emergency manager on getting that set up. If for some reason I cannot extend the foreclosure on these properties, they can also come to the judicial foreclosure hearing, which is in front of the circuit court judge, and that is Thursday, February 18th at 9 in the morning. The new legislation regarding tax foreclosure did end up passing in the lame duck session, so we are working hard to implement this going forward. We're having a whole lot of trainings coming up from a bunch of different groups on that, but this should help fix the issue the Supreme Court had. We just sent out another round of delinquent tax notices, a little over 2,000. So we are really busy. This is our tax deadline time of year. So we're pretty swamped in here up through March. Well, it's in March, we start doing tax settlement, in which we will buy the any delinquent current taxes from the local units, the township, cities, and village. And we take on that debt and give all the money to all of the millage entities so that they can operate throughout the year. There are a lot of unknowns this year. We usually buy back a 10% delinquency rate, but we do have new millages this year. We do have the 1 mil for the gypsy moth. We have 0.3 for the animal shelter, 0.13 for MSU, and the additional 0.2 for transit. So if we stay with that 10% plus the, I shouldn't leave out the drain assessments because the drain assessments are pretty huge. So if it stays at the 10% delinquency, our $4 million that we buy back in taxes might increase. However, delinquency wise, we're seeing people, we're assuming are using their stimulus money and or the additional money that they're getting in unemployment. We've been seeing a lot of it paid. So that might help offset that. But there are definitely a lot of unknowns this year going into tax, our buyback of delinquent taxes. I strongly recommend, and I said this at the last meeting, and I probably am a broken record and say it every meeting, but we really need to start up doing those budget workshops. Again, we do have a lot of unknowns, and you know, we have a decrease in a large revenue source. So I really think the budget should start being looked at as soon as possible. And last but not least, we are working with the auditors. The auditors are working remotely. They have travel restrictions and are not allowed to come in. So that is for all of the departments, putting a little bit of extra time on our staff and ourselves to get the information to the auditors, where before they used to be here and they would come and get all of the information they need. So we are working, it is going well so far. And I think that's it for me, unless anybody has any questions. And I'm here anytime, so you guys can come in and see me anytime. You have it's open door. Come on in and see me.
Got a question, Bronwyn?
What's the decrease in the large revenue source?
The sheriff department inmates, the federal inmates are down by a significant amount that we're going to have to look into, but it's a work in progress. So they might get some more back. They might not, but it's definitely a big enough amount that it needs to be paid attention to.
Okay. And the tax delinquencies, how does that compare with last year?
We don't know because we don't buy back until March 1st. So we don't know. It's generally 10% delinquencies. But right now, I'm assuming you're talking about the current taxes that are still with the townships.
Yeah.
They're still with the local units until March 1st. And then they'll come over here, and it takes me about 15 days to get settled with them all to give a report.
Okay.
Anybody else? Thanks, Jenny.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. Chairperson's report. Couple things. I feel that me and Dale, after our next meeting with the health department, will have a better grasp on how the shots are working out and what they're doing. So hopefully we can answer any questions at the next meeting, or if anybody has any, they can call. I feel that's pretty important, and I feel too, as a commissioner, I need to start now reaching out to the townships and city and meeting the new people who were elected or are up to speed. And that's about all I have. Yeah.
Just attending meetings, which meetings that people are having. It's kind of challenging right now with the restrictions and stuff like that, but most of the townships are meeting either by Zoom, a few that are still doing it in person, but keeping their audience limited on how many can show. I got my first shot as far as a vaccine. I don't have a arm growing out of the back of my head or anything as of right now, so.
Excellent.
I didn't have any side effects. Everything's great. I'm hoping to get the second vaccination shot on time, which is February.
Did you sign up, Dale, or did your doctor refer you or what?
I was part of the essential workers, first responders.
Okay.
So it surprises me that not more wanted the vaccination, but it is what it is. I chose to get it. I can be the guinea pig, I guess. It doesn't matter. But no, everything other than a little soreness on the arm, that's it. So
good.
Things seem to go pretty good.
Okay.
So, but other than that, I can't stress enough the two hot topics from what I can see in the county. The drain is a big issue. We've got to stay on top of that. And I know Carl's staying on top of it. So I know there's a lot of questions, especially when you get down to that end of the county concerns, the costs and all that, that we need to make sure that we keep in check. Let's see. I think that's about it.
Rick?
Just want to say I'm excited sitting on the board and I got a 3-month goal to meet every department head, come in and see you guys and see what's going on and introduce myself and see what you guys do and what's going on.
Good. Stephanie?
I have nothing.
Samantha?
Yeah, nothing.
Sandy?
I've been attending my meetings and there's a whole new board in Arthur Township from the last time I was a commissioner, and they seemed friendly. Yeah, they probably haven't been told all the stories. Oh, so that's good. And my townships all seem to be pretty organized and they don't have any big problems. Arthur Township had a question about a billing and I contacted Jesse in IT and he took care of that. So far, so good.
Good.
Our treasurer just brought up budget workshops. Is that something we discuss here or?
I was going to wait till we got to the state of the county budget.
Oh, okay,
And I have a couple ideas too.
okay,
And I'll tell you
okay,
what I didn't like about the ones we had previously.
okay.
Thank you.
Do you have any reports?
Well, I went to Frost Township last night and they were very friendly. So yeah, it was nice.
State of the budget. We were obviously recently alerted that we were going to lose $500,000 revenue out of the inmates, of the sheriff's department, correct?
It's possible.
I think we should first start by getting, I guess that explain why. Is Dwayne, you out there?
He seems to be having a problem connecting. There he goes.
I'm here, Jeff.
Okay. What is COVID the reason for the loss of revenue? The wall, what's going on there?
Primarily COVID. We just don't have a lot of movement. The marshals aren't making arrests. They're not housing, moving fed inmates. So until that gives, and there's no time, we just wanted to caution you guys.
You broke up there, Dwayne.
Get lucky in the next month or two when things start filling back up.
You feel you could fill back up as the, stuff gets back to normal, if the COVID pandemic ends?
We have a plan. However, that's kind of beyond our reach. It'll be dictated by the federal system when they get back up and running, when they start moving prisoners, as far as the marshals arresting and shipping them to facilities. It's kind of beyond our control. It's really up in the air. I can't guarantee you guys anything.
I'd like to speak up too a little bit about that. One of the things we're dealing with too is Saginaw built a brand new jail, and they've taken some of our feds down there. They're a lot closer to Bay City. The federal marshal we used to deal with on a regular basis is now retired, so we had a good working relationship with him. We're not sure. I haven't met the new one. And when COVID hit, we also lost all of our downstate renters that they would drive back and forth. The company took care of all that. They went bankrupt because none of those jails were sending anybody out. So right now I have no other renters in the jail besides 21 federal inmates. So
Do you feel this is going to be a new norm? Or just when we can get back to normal? It's brand new.
I don't like that. I don't like that new norm thing.
Yeah.
I hear it on the news every day. I don't know. I mean, I think we're always going to have 20 or so federal inmates, and we may have to look down the road here of doing something different in the jail.
Well, that was kind of my question leading to that is, do we try and plan on getting by till we can pick that revenue back up, or is that going to be gone forever? I guess we don't have that answer either.
Nope. I can't give you any way to go on that. I can tell you I have 21 in there right now. And if we figured it out with that through the end of the year, I think we were at 700,000, which would be 500,000 less than what was put on there. Right.
The best thing for us is to plan for the worst.
I agree. I totally agree.
Is there any kind of COVID relief? I know they're relieving everybody else on that kind of thing. Is there anything out there you know of for the jails?
There hasn't been anything dedicated toward us. Now, what the county receives and what you choose to do with that would be up to you as far as other options that may come in the future.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Welcome.
I had a question before you run off. Your federal prisoners, they're coming from prisons, correct?
No, they're in transit. What that means is they've been arrested. They're waiting to go to court and find out what their sentence is. And then when they're sentenced, they're taken to a federal penitentiary. Where that is, that's up to the right.
Okay, thank you. I remember that now.
John said it was closer to.
So I guess that's the reason we do need to start working on the budget pretty quick.
Correct.
And I think we should have budget meetings, but I have a problem with the way they were. It felt to me there was a lot of talk and nothing got done. And I got a recommendation that we don't meet as a whole. I feel we tackle an area at a time to get up to speed and talk with them. So you take a meeting and you can talk with the courts, or you can talk with the prosecutor.
That's what I was.
One at a time, because with everybody there, it just got so jumbled and it seems like you got nothing done.
And I think we ran into a situation to where we didn't want to make the hard decision.
Well,
and it's unfortunate, and nobody likes to make the hard decision, but this is the reason why the people elected us, was to make these hard decisions.
Right. And if we had maybe one department come in, as Jeff suggested, at a time and present, I'd like to see, a proposed 2-year plan. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see, maybe they can put in their budget a capital improvement policy or plan. A little more,
Get refined. I hope we can.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that's Jeff. I think you're onto something there.
And I just know the ones we had, that's why I didn't want to attend them anymore, because I don't feel we got much accomplished. I really didn't.
Well,
right.
I think if we looked at each department.
And look at it as a good thing.
Yes.
Not a bad thing.
Yes.
I think that's the way we need to approach it.
And that way we get to know the departments.
Some people think you're headhunting, which
No,
for us to make good decisions, we need to be educated on the ones on to make them.
exactly.
So with that being said, the state of the budget's not real good.
What I'd like to see is some real numbers with those numbers pulled out. The new forecasted budget for this year with
The 500,000.
500 taken out of it.
Yeah.
And then also can we maybe schedule a couple meetings for the end of this month?
Yeah.
One a month if we feel that'll work. Is everybody up for that?
Yeah.
Which department would we like to talk to first?
At least to get us so that we can stay on top of this.
Mhm.
We don't wait 2-3 months down and see that.
In July,
wow,
we
we're-
got, oh no,
we're $500,000 short.
We can't
you know,
come back.
And now we gotta hit the panic button.
Gotta
and
get
start
right away.
reacting then, and that's when it gets extreme. I mean, we can make maybe small adjustments on the fly as we see the numbers, and it'll have less of an impact towards the end to where we're in the oh shit mode.
Do we have, what's the fiscal year? Is it a January or October?
October.
We're already in the second
Yeah.
quarter.
Do we have time this month yet to squeeze one in? These would be under the Open Meetings Act? Okay, so you have to have 10 days notice?
18 days.
Oh, 18 hours, okay.
I mean,
So we want to look at the calendar and
Jeff, are you looking to set this up for budget workshops with no decisions being made at the workshop?
right.
Okay, good.
And-
Thank you.
And maybe to help the people that have problems during the day, can we have them maybe at 5 or so? Is that possible?
I'm all in on that.
Okay, great.
what we took for a day.
Great.
What are you thinking?
Well, next Wednesday, 27th?
I can make that. Samantha?
We've
No.
got health department.
No?
We've got health department.
Can't make that.
Okay, what's a good day?
Any day but Tuesday or Wednesday.
Pick a Friday.
All right, Friday, the 29th
Yeah,
at 5 o'clock?
5.
That's happy hour. How about Thursday?
All right, Thursday, the 28th at 5 o'clock. How's
I
that?
can make that
Okay,
Tentatively.
tentatively.
January 28th. And what department should we have come first? Yeah,
The biggest impact.
I think start with the sheriff's department. Have Dwayne and John and sit down with them and
Biggest impact.
Sheriff's
get
Department.
on the same page and see what we can work to do. John, Dwayne, that work for you?
Absolutely, we'll make it work.
Okay.
What day is it, Jeff?
Thursday, the 28th.
At 5.
You know,
Just
let's
so we're
make it
done
an
by
hour.
7.
We'll be done.
1 hour.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good.
This would also be a good time then, as we announce these to the different departments, to have their organizational chart.
I was gonna say,
I
yeah.
think that'll help
Yeah.
us learn.
Have an organizational chart for us then?
Oh, we already have one.
Yeah, they should
Okay.
have.
And then also, would it be possible for you to do a projected 2-year budget?
Let me comment on that. That's, it's kind of hard to do when you don't know what, the unions are gonna do here these next 2 years. So
Okay,
as far as the wages and benefits.
And we need to sit down and talk about that. That's good.
okay. All right, Thursday, January 28th at 5 o'clock.
Remind me if I'm not there. But I think that's a very good start.
I agree.
You could also include 911 with that group as.
It's all gonna be
to
together.
discuss
Yep.
Together.
going to make about $4,000 in the $25 stipend this month or next month.
And I will have updated budgets for all of you at that point, so you have them all, or I can get them for you ahead of time if you want.
Hey, did Mark come up and get him?
And I think that's crucial too, especially the new people coming in, because I was only.
Oh, I know.
And I
Sure.
thought everything was going good and this is fun. Then July rolled around, all of a sudden, oh Christ, we're $1 million in the bad. And then,
No, you're,
and I knew nothing about it either. It's still very complicated.
this is good. This is very good.
government budgets are very hard to understand, I feel, so, because you don't know when you're gonna get the money and what year it's coming and all that other stuff, so.
Do you want to set budget meetings throughout the months, or you do them as you go? You want to set a schedule for budget meetings?
Might have to do it on the fly because
Yeah, we all have council.
getting the information you're gonna need.
How many total departments?
Oh, good grief.
5, 6,
Yeah,
many departments,
No, there's
You've got-
20 some.
Some, so,
There's-
and how fast do we want to get through this?
major at talking, you know.
We're already in the.
I would say maybe the next one, we could do it for 3 hours and do 2. You know, let's see how the first one goes and see how much time we're gonna have to, let's see how far we get and how productive it is. And then if that's the case, we'll do one the next week. I don't care, you know?
I think we should set a deadline where we want to get it done, so we don't.
I would
push
say
it
we
off.
should get it done by May.
Well, and some things you can combine, like your sheriff's department's one of the biggest ones. But then you look at courts and you could probably combine.
Yeah.
Those, yes, they are separate budgets, but you may be able to incorporate them together.
Right. If we don't set a deadline or a goal, we're not gonna, we'll keep pushing it back. So we just need to set a date. That's my opinion.
I say number one, we need to see how the first one goes.
Mhm.
The First one take 4 hours and we get nothing done. Well, I don't know when the hell we'll get done with these, but let's try and get it done by May anyways, I would think.
I think we'll be good as long as we keep focused. I think
Yeah.
we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Jenny emailed and asked if you would like her at these budget meetings or no.
Yes,
I would say definitely.
Okay.
yes.
And then we can do her department too that first night. She's gonna be there. That'd be perfect.
Great.
Okay, any other comment on the budget? Let's get into it, get going on it, that's what I say.
Agree.
I agree.
Okay. Public comment. Tom?
Thank you. Public comment as a private citizen. Some of you know that our church had a free clothing giveaway since 2013. We opened up a new building next to our church. We used to offer only the second and fourth Tuesday of the month. We've expanded that to every Tuesday now, from 9 to 4.
Okay.
So if you know of anybody that needs clothing, there are no requirements. Incomes out the door, number of kids out the door, where you live out the door. Whatever you need, come in. We also take good, usable, clean donations also.
Okay.
So if you want to pass that around, people that have fires, they get burned out of their house, this is a good place. We will meet them on their terms, if you will. If they lose their house on a Friday, they don't need to wait till Tuesday to get some clothes.
You still taking clothes even though with the COVID thing or whatever, if?
Yes, yep. At the church, Living Hope Lutheran Church, there was a drop-off box at the church. You can drop things off here anytime.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Anything else, Dawn?
Ask him.
All right,
What church?
Living Hope Lutheran Church in Fargo.
unfinished business, we have any?
Think so.
New business. Welcome to all the new commissioners and
Keep going.
we're done.
Other than, we need a picture for the webpage for the Board of Commissioners, but my suggestion is that we take individuals' pictures instead of doing a group.
Mug shots.